Hey there, welcome back to another VGC prep video. I was recently doing a team of my own for Premier Challenge, and it dawned on me that this might be a good topic. So what we're going to talk about today are tailoring stats, specifically hit points, to cooperate with items that you might put on your Pokemon that maybe you're not as familiar with, or maybe it's just a last minute check that you never really thought to do. It occurred to me because I'd never really used pinch berries before, which are those berries that recover half of a hit point, half your hit points when you hit a quarter health. And so I was going over some of that, and it reminded me that this is kind of a stat check that you should be doing. And if you're not, maybe just double check and make sure that you have optimum spreads for those items that you're using. So I had to do this with my Zapdos, which had a Wiki Berry, but we're not using Zapdos for Wiki Berry today. Cresselia, if you didn't know, Cresselia over here. Where are you at, Chris? There you are. Cresselia's #1 item is a Wiki Berry. Did you know? Now you do. So Cresselia here we have in a level 50. Remember you're level 50. Disclaimer: always remember that you are level 50 for VGC. Always level 50. That is important. Trust me, it's very important. A lot of people might just think, oh well, it's Cresselia. It's super bulky. It's got base 130 SPDEF, base 120 defense, and then base 120 hit point. That's ridiculous, right? So Wiki Berry, as we said earlier, restores half your max HP at a quarter max HP or less. And you have to have the right nature and all that. Wiki Berry is the #1 item on Cresselia for a reason, because it already has a giant hit point stat, and you know it's bulky. It's bulky. So the #1 thing you want to remember is when you're building a Pokemon spread, or when you have a build for a Pokemon that wants to utilize one of these pinch berries or a citrus berry or leftovers, we'll get into that in a minute. You want to remember that you want to maximize the HP that you get back. That's always really important. So if you're building a defensive Cresselia, you maybe want to put most of your EVs or effort values into hit points so that you get more hit points back, and then spread out the rest through SPDEF or defense. Don't do this. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. That's not what you want to do. You want to maximize your hit point potential, because basically, trusty calculator, boom. What we have here is, so you got 196, and you're going to get half of that back, right? So you're going to get 98 hit points back. That's not a lot. However, if you maximize your hit points, boop, you're going to get, out of 227, you're going to get 113 back. So a lot more hit points there. But what you might not have noticed here, or what you probably did notice, I don't know, is that 13.5 is not an actual number of hit points that you can get back. Did you know? So one of the problems is that, you know, you're not going to be able to get that back. Additionally, you can't get half a hit point back, basically is what I'm saying. So additionally, what you want to check for is whatever it restores, right? Whatever it restores, that's what you want to always heal by, or that's what you always want to take number by. So for example, you're gonna get half back at a quarter health, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's divisible by 2, because you're getting half of the hit points back. So 252 is not an optimal spread, right? But 226 is 113. That's brilliant, right? So I believe that would be 244. 244 is going to be a magic number no matter what you do. It's going to be a magic number no matter what you do. Remember that. Just remember 244. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be that for everything, but it's going to be like that for most of the time. So an easy way to double check this is if you go max HP, you put 252 EVs into HP, right? You're going to have 227. So that's our stat. And we're going to get half back. It's 113, right? you take the closest whole number, which in this case would be 113. Alright guys, my mic cut out or something. I don't know what happened, but we didn't really lose anything because I was just rambling for a minute. So basically, what I was saying is you want to take the closest whole number, which in this case would be 113. So you want to take that, and you want to multiply it by 2. And that gets you 226. How do you get 226? Boom. You just bump down 1. Which, if anybody knows... Boop. There we go. If anybody knows, it's 1 down, so it would be 8 EVs to get to the next thing. You don't want to go to 240, because that's not good. You want to go there. You don't want to go up to 248, because that would be wasting an EV. Quick reminder, effort points, or effort values. 8 effort values to change a stat after the first one for level 50. It's 4 at level 100, but it's 8 at level 50. So, that's just a quick reminder. So, there you go. 244 optimum spread. You get 2 extra, or 8 extra points there. So, you can put that in SPDF, in defense. I don't care. Whatever you want. That's going to get you the max HP back without sacrificing effort values. So, Polytoad, pretty popular toad here. It's got Citrus Berry. Citrus Berry restores 1/4 max HP at half HP or less. One of my favorite items, honestly, if I'm being truthful. Love Citrus Berry Toad. Best thing ever. So here we have Toad, 252. It's gonna have 197, right? Again, what you want to do is divide by what you're getting restored at. So you want to divide by 4. And oh my goodness, it's 49.25. You can't get 1/4 HP back. That's not how that works. So what you want to do is you want to take 49 times 4. And you get 196. And when you know it, it's that magic number again, that 244. It's not always going to be this way. It tends to work out that way with even base stats. So that's kind of the secret behind it. But it's not always going to be that way. So always double check your math again. So that's kind of an easy way to find out where to go. You always want your stat to equal. Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it. Let's do something a little bit harder. Shall we? Feeny, Tapu Fini. Who doesn't love a Tapu Fini, right? This Tapu Fini is 0.9% on Battle Spot have leftovers. This guy's Tapu Fini right here, I'm telling you. It's mine. I know it's mine. Nobody else runs leftovers. Let's see. So, 177. Oh wait, first, we should look at leftovers first, shouldn't we? It restores 1/16 of your max HP at the end of every turn, right? 1/16. So this time, we have to make sure it's divisible by 16. Very good. You guys are great at math. I love it. Alright, so 177 divided by 16. What does that look like? 11.0625. Well, that's dumb. How do I get 0.0625 hit points back? This is ridiculous. So, obviously 255 is not, or 252 is not the ideal spread for that. However, you guessed it. Maybe. You might have guessed it. I don't know. We won't change it yet. We'll do it the real way. So we want 11 times 16 to get our full hit points back, right? That means our hit point stat should be 176 by the time it's all said and done. And when you know it, it's not 244. Again, it's that even base stat. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason it's happening this way. But I think you can kind of start to understand, like, you always want to make sure that your HP stat is divisible by whatever amount you're recovering. So if you're recovering by 1/4 health, you want to make sure it's divisible by 4. If you're recovering by half health, you want to make sure it's divisible by 2. If you're recovering 1/16 every turn, you want to make sure that it's divisible by 16. Does that make sense? It should. Let's get into something a little more contrast, shall we? Tapu Koko. Did you guys know that Tapu Koko here is a really popular Life Orb user? Number 3, in fact. Electrium Z and Choice Specs getting a little bit more love this season, which is interesting. Life Orb Coco was like really popular in 17. People have seen the light, evidently. Alright, so Life Orb. What does Life Orb do? It boosts the attacks of the user by 1.3, but it loses 1/10 of its max hit points after the attack. So as you might assume, let's say, you don't necessarily want to put all your EVs into HP. Why would you be using a Life Orb Tapu Koko if you were maximizing its bulkiness? I don't know. But hey, we're just theory modding right now, that's all. So let's prove it with numbers, right? Let's prove it with numbers. If you put 252 EVs into hit points, you would get a max hit point stat of 177 at level 50. That means, quick math, you're taking 17.7 hit points worth of damage just to attack. That's insane, right? And again, this is all divisible by 10, so it should be pretty easy. But I'll do it on the calculator anyway. So, at no hit point investment, we're at 145, right? Divided by 10, that means now we're only doing 14.5 hit points to attack, which is beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. However, Pokemon doesn't round up. So, like we looked at before, I'm inclined to tell you want to make sure it's divisible by 10. No, you don't. What you want to do instead is if you want to invest a bunch in HP while still using Life Orb, you want to keep your HP stat, first of all, as low as possible. So what I'm about to say next might not make a whole lot of sense. But you want to, if you want to invest HP EVs, all you have to do is make sure that the ending stat point ends in 9. Because that would keep you at losing 14 hit points instead of 15. Because you can bump it up until you hit that whole number. That's how Life Orb works. So I believe, quick notes, 28 EVs in HP, not 24. Yeah, 28. Would bump us up to 149. So now, 149, again, divided by 10, not rocket science, 14.9. Now, you're still only going to take 14 points of damage to attack. However, you've got hit point investment, I guess. This is not what I recommend doing. If for some reason you want to do something like this with any kind of Life Orb user that you have, that's something that you want to keep in consideration. Because again, you don't want to be losing a bunch of hit points. You want to mostly be, if you want a bulky Life Orb user, you want to be investing in SPDF and defense. You don't want to be doing that. I don't know if a bulky Life Orb user exists, but hey, there's the math for it. This is mostly considering restoration items like Wiki Berries, Pinch Berries, Citrus Berries, and the lefties. Now here's something that I thought I would share just for giggles, because I don't really think there's anything I could possibly do in a solo video to calc Assault Vest stuff. Assault Vest is one of those stat tailoring items as well. It bumps up the user's special defense by 1.5. And you might be thinking, well, what do I do that? what am I supposed to do with that, Blue? Explain. So what this basically means is when you're finishing off your special defense stat, you want to make sure it's an even number, right? Because again, Pokemon doesn't round up. They don't run. They just go by the whole number. There is no decimal and beyond. It is just that whole number. So, for example, you can see Landorus Therian, which, pretty popular Assault Vest user. Over half have it on Battle Spot. Real talk. Its current special defense stat is 100. That's brilliant. Brilliant, I say. Where are you? There you are. So 100 times 1.5. That's going to boost your special defense stat up to 150. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is insane. Let's say you have like a couple EVs left over, right? And you're like, hey, I could put like 4 in special defense. Why not? Let's do that. Let's do it. So that would bring your special defense stat up to 101, right? So we go 101 times 1.5, that Assault Vest boost. And we get 151.5! Oh no! We're wasting things. Why? Why do we do that? We're only going to get that 151. So that's what damages are going to calc at. However, if you go 102 times 1.5, boom, 153. So while it's not a huge thing, and if you're doing specific damage calcs, it might vary, of course. These are all very much tailored to team. These are just general things that you want to check out. You always want to make sure that when you have an assault vest user, your special defense stat ends in an even number so that it multiplies the boost properly. Otherwise, you're going to be wasting effort values, and that's pretty much the meaning of this whole video. I think for the most part, don't waste effort values. You want to maximize and tailor your spreads to not waste EVs in that fashion. And again, it's mostly considering hit point items. But I wanted to throw Assault Vest in there. Assault Vest is probably my favorite item in the game, so you know, I just wanted to throw it in there for you guys, and you know, give a quick reminder because Assault Vest is getting pretty popular. I know Landorus, the #1 Landorus has it, and I believe I do not take credit for this, but it's 100% my idea. Assault Vest Incineroar, which is godly. If you haven't tried Assault Vest Incineroar, what are you doing with your life? Get on it. So that kind of rounds out what I wanted to briefly discuss here in this video. If you have any other ideas or anything that you would like covered in VGC prep, let me know, because you know, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and occasionally everything I do is just kind of second nature at this point. So I don't really think about it as, oh well, someone might not know about that. Also, why does our Landorus not have any IVs in attack? That is a bad Landorus. Somebody get a bottle cap for that bad boy. Oh no. There we go. That's better. What's that about? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it useful. Again, these videos are pretty much for people who are just starting out or don't really know a whole lot. I'm sure a lot of this is common knowledge to most players who have been around for a year or a couple seasons or so. But again, if you guys have anything you'd like me to cover specifically, or any questions or anything like that I can do a video on, leave it in the comments below, and we'll continue this series, because I want to help you guys get better. I want to help players get better. I know there's a lot of series out there that have people way more accomplished than I am doing things, but maybe they're not the most helpful for beginners because they start off a little bit too far out, you know what I mean? So like I said, anything you want covered, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm Blue, and I will catch you next time somewhere on the internet doing something that I do.